Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. Not gonna lie, I was gonna sit there and say General Hospital. Um, Getting into this episode, as I said before in some other previous recaps, is that there is a main story, there's fluff, and then there's stuff that sort of connects to the bigger event of, I guess, the story. And I'm gonna get the fluff out the way because, well, that's exactly what it is. It's fluff. So let's talk about Eric, Abe, Nicole, and Marlena. Um, they're both, okay. When I sit there and say it like that, I mean you have Marlene and Nicole talking, and then you have Abe and Eric talking. We're just talking about the same thing, the wedding. And Eric is pretty much just like, yo, listen, I want to get married today, like right now. And Abe is like, I mean, I can do it, but you're like, it's like last minute. You're not probably gonna get a lot of people. And Eric gives this whole speech about how, he's been waiting all his life, this, that, and the third, all this sort of like, I would sit there and say it's romantic and everything like that, but I feel like he's just rushing, She already agreed to marry you. I don't understand why you needed to do it, like, today. He came up with all these reasons, but I gotta be honest with you, I just felt like it just was, I don't want to say it was desperate, but really? I don't know, it just was kind of odd to me. And then you got Marlene and Nicole Smith there talking. And Nicole was like, yo, listen, I want to invite Sammy. I guess Sammy and Eric are brothers or whatever. And granted, they got a really shaded history that I don't know, but about between Nicole and Sammy. But I'm pretty sure it's shady enough where she's like, you know what, I'm going to be the bigger person and I'm going to invite this woman, your sister, to the wedding. And so they wind up getting together. Nicole comes home. Eric is talking to Abe. And Eric is like, hey, so let's get married today. And Nicole's like, what? Nah. No. Abe is like, all right, you know what? Why don't y'all two just figure whatever this is out? And when you're ready, call me. And Eric gets kind of disappointed at first, and I'm not gonna lie, he kind of got a little whiny. I mean, I get that, you want to marry her, but like, chill, bro. And Nicole's like, listen, it's not that I want to marry you, it's just, I want your sister to be there and, to celebrate it, be a special day for you. Anyway, they hug, they kiss, and that's pretty much the end of the scene. I'm not gonna lie. Again, fluff. Let's talk about Claire, Bella, and Sean. I gotta sit there and say I'm actually really proud of myself of remembering these characters' names. There's still times I'm gonna screw up, but yeah. So let's talk about them for a minute. So you got Claire Center talking about, she was like, oh, in the beginning, granted, they kind of just redid everything for the first 5 minutes of Claire was like, oh, yeah, I get to go home, blah, 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 blah. And Bella's like, yeah, you get to go home in Hong Kong. And she's like, what? Nah. I'm sorry, I've been kind of watching a lot of This Is Us. If you know what that is, kudos to you. But Claire's just like, nah, I'm staying here. And, the mother is kind of apprehensive about this whole thing because I guess she just doesn't want to be any friction between Sierra and Claire because, Claire tried to burn her alive. And so, Claire was like, I want to stay in Salem. Sean just kind of seems like he's just kind of stuck in the middle. So I feel kind of bad for him because he's like, we just don't want to push you. We don't want you to have to prove anything. And, because I got to sit there and tell you, Claire just kind of seems like she is a manipulator. She's a manipulator. Let's just put it this way. I was actually gonna make a comparison, but she's a manipulator. So she's just like, hey, listen, I can only get better and atone for my sins if I stay in Salem. And so they go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And Claire gets the idea, which I don't know why she didn't think of it before. She's like, hey, listen, I'll just stay with Grandma, Marlena. And again, Bella is like, I don't know about that, but I could sit there and talk to her. Now Claire, now Claire starts kind of like whining a little bit, and I'm just like, you're kind of grown up for her to be sitting there, for you to be whining like that. She's like, no, just let me stay with Grandma, and like she literally just starts kind of whining. I'm like, okay. I can enjoy the crazy part of you, but the whiny part, I don't know. Anyway, long story short, she convinces Sean, because Sean's like, all right, well, I guess there's no point in asking. 1 second. She's like, he's like, well, I guess there's no point in, there's no harm in not asking. And Bella's like she looks like she wants to sit there and like, what are you doing? But she's like, yeah, well, I guess there's no point in asking, Sean, because I guess she just still feels like she didn't want to be the bad guy. She didn't want to be the bad cop, and I guess that's just how it is when you're parents. One person plays the good person, and the other one plays the bad cop. 1 second. Anyway, yeah, so long story short, she convinces both her parents to ask Marlena to get her to, supervise Claire's release and her stay in Salem. So, long story short, Claire got what she wanted. Hell, actually, to tell you the truth, they went to the hospital, 3 of them. And Marlene, here's the thing, Marlene did this thing that I was like, really? So she was like, yeah, so I talked to your parents and we decided that you can come home to my house. And I'm like, you fucking serious? Like, you really just did that? Like, I was like, hold on, let me just pause this for a minute. And when I mean pause it on YouTube, because they didn't play it today. Well, they didn't play it where I live. So anyway, yeah, she did that whole really cheesy reveal, and Claire got what she wanted and she was happy, jumping over the moon, acting like a child. So that pretty much ends her story. Here's the thing, there was a couple of scenes where you know what, fuck it, let me just kind of start from the beginning a little bit. So Sierra is with Hope, and Rafe gets there, and Rafe is like, oh, well, I'm just wondering where my sister's at. I haven't heard from her or anything like that. Now Sierra's like, oh, I'm starting to feel kind of guilty. And she has that guilty look on her face, and she tries to talk her way out of it. And so she just zooms off, and Rafe looks at Hope and is like, yeah, I don't buy that. There's something going on with her. I think Hope was like, oh, well, she got a whole bunch of stuff going on, so maybe it's just stress. Anyway, they start talking about the whole Gabby situation, about how Gabby may not be guilty because, why would she do that to the man that she loves, and just kind of stuff that we already knew about. Hell, I knew about it, and I just started this like a couple weeks ago, so their scenes was kind of pointless. So at the shop, you pretty much got the interrogation that's finishing up between Will and Sonny and Jake. Jake pretty much just stonewall both of them to the point where they asked Ben, and Ben was like, nope, I haven't seen her. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't know what to tell you, pretty much. And so they leave. Will and Sonny leave, and now Ben is like, so what's the plan? Because we're running out of time. And Jake is like, well, I called her and I told her that, it's a life and death situation, so she's going to answer the phone now. And I'm like, all right, so let me just pause this for a minute. Your whole plan was hinging on the fact that because there's an innocent life, she's actually going to answer the phone. That's your whole plan. Like, I literally was like, wait a minute. I was like, wait a minute, are you serious? You really just wanna... I don't even know what to say. I'm just kind of speechless. I'm just kind of speechless by that whole thing. Like, even Ben was like, wait a minute. So what if she doesn't answer the phone? Oh, she's gonna answer the phone. So then Sierra comes in, and usually I've been kind of like somewhat harsh on her because of just the way that she acts sometimes. Like, she just has that kind of personality where it's like she's hot, but after like 5 minutes, and I just want her gone. But I'm not gonna lie, I kind of agreed with her 100% on this shit. Because she was like, so I just ran into Rafe, and I'm just done telling this whole secret about keeping the secret about Gabby. Hell, even Ben was like, yo, listen, she's gonna tell. She's getting tired of lying and covering this whole thing up, so we gotta do something. And so Sierra was like, yo, listen, we gotta do something. We gotta sit there and call the cops. And Ben is back to, Jake is back to the whole, oh, we can't call the cops, because if we call the cops, if we call the cops, then they're going to sit there and hurt Gabby or kill Gabby, whatever. And so they go back and forth. And there's pretty much slinging mud at each other, Jake is all like, oh, well, if we call the cops, then, the blood's going to be on your hands. And then, and then I think, I can't remember what the hell she said. I can't remember what Sierra said, but I think Sierra was just like, yo, listen, this whole thing is your fault. And I was like, I'm not trying to take sides, but I'm kind of on her side, because, yeah, if you didn't come to town and did all this crazy mess, she would not be caught in your circle of BS. So, at first, when Jake apologized to her for coming at her sideways, Sierra didn't say anything back, and I was like, you can't even sit there and kind of meet him halfway. But then I was like, I'm sorry, but she has a point. And so Ben was like, all right, listen, here's how we're gonna settle this. We're gonna give your ex-girlfriend some more time. By the way, her name is Gwen. Some more time to just, call back. And if she does not call back, we are getting Rafe and we are getting the cops involved in it, and that is it. And that pretty much ends their scene. And honestly, to tell you the truth, that was the meat of the whole episode. Yeah, there's some scenes, and literally 20 minutes in, or probably actually more, because I think if you go for an hour, anyway, the last 3 minutes of the episode, you had this scene where Kate, Jack, and Jennifer are talking, and Kate is like, hey, listen, we need you to get Steve and Hope on board of accepting the key to the city. Jack and Jennifer does some weird thing where they kind of talk to like they literally look at each other and they're like, hey, listen, we're not going to sit there and just push them, and we're going to let them decide their own... Seriously? We're going to let them decide their own fate. We're not going to sit there and control them, tell them what they're doing, what to do. And so Kate is like, all right, fine, F it, listen, I'm going to sit there, thank you for being useless. I will find some people to get them to accept the key to the city. I think Jennifer was like, all right, I guess we'll still cover it or whatever. I guess she is she's a journalist and works for the town's newspaper, I guess. Anyway, that was pretty much about it. She left, and Kate left, and Jack and Jennifer just gave each other these really cringy fucking looks. Hell, actually, to tell you the truth, half of the time when they were talking, they gave each other a bunch of cringe-worthy looks. And, yeah. Just kind of looking over my notes. I don't want to pause it again, so, Actually, yeah, so that's pretty much about it. My last thoughts on this show, and I didn't want to kind of do like a separate video of versus, but since I actually have some people's attention, and thank you, by the way, I really do appreciate people who are watching. I know these reviews sometimes come out late, So I really do appreciate people watching and liking and thumbs up in it. It really does help. It's fun doing, and it's something to kind of just get away from all the craziness that's going on in the world for a little bit. So yeah, since I have everyone's attention, I want to kind of, because I was missing General Hospital, and I was not there thinking about General Hospital and comparing it to Days. And I was going to be a little bit biased because I've been watching General Hospital longer than Days, but here's the thing that I will give Days credit over General Hospital. And I never actually thought I would be sitting there saying something will be better than General Hospital. But they can balance stuff a lot better. And what I mean by that is they give shine to pretty much everyone so far that I can think of that I've been watching the show, and General Hospital doesn't tend to do that. They give a lot of the great and juicy stories to the Corinthos family, and that's everyone that's involved. Jocelyn, Michael, Sam, all of them. They give them a lot of the great stories. And then you leave people out like Liz, Elizabeth or Liz and Franco. You leave sometimes Valentine and Nina, and now you pair Valentine with an actress that doesn't play Nina that well, and it's like, at least with this show, they kind of balance everyone a lot better. Like, a lot of people get a lot more of their shine. You get you get Steven, Kayla, and Justin. You get their great scenes. You get, this whole thing that's going on with Gabby and Jake and Ben and their great stuff. You get a lot of stuff with John and Orpheus. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone has their shine. It's a really good balanced show, and I can't sit there and say the same for General Hospital. And when I say that with somewhat of a heavy heart, because, well, I enjoy the Corinthos family. Sonny and Jason are my favorite characters. So every time they get a great story, I'm loving it. But I know that there's a lot of people that get left out in the cold, that people like Franco and Liz and Valentine and Nina, and they just kind of get dumped to the side a little bit. Because let's make way for Corinthos and their story. And this one, I gotta sit there and say, it's a lot more balanced. That's what I'm saying so far. Let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if people do watch General Hospital and what you think of that. Is Days a better balanced show than General Hospital? I can only speak for General Hospital because I've been watching it longer. I can't speak for Days because I've only been watching it for 3 weeks now. So, yeah. But I gotta sit there and say, I am actually having a lot more fun doing these. Not that I wasn't having fun before, but I'm more confident as far as doing these reviews. Because, honestly, to tell you the truth, there was parts where I just wasn't even looking at my notes. And I was just kind of going off the dome. And I like doing that a little bit more than just kind of trying to remember notes. Because in the beginning, I just was so focused on trying to remember names. And actually, to tell you the truth, I had to wind up doing a review over because I kept screwing up Ben and Jake's name. Because I'm going to be honest with you, even though his name is Ben, he looks like a Jake. He looks like a Jake. And there's times where I'm going to sit there and want to call him Johnny Sakara, even though I know his name is Jake. So I'm just glad that I'm starting to actually remember people's names and calling her Marlena instead of Marlene. I've been saying that shit wrong for so long. But yeah, so that's gonna do it. Thank you for anyone who's actually listening to my rant. And just people who've been watching my videos in general. Apologies that it's, oh my god, it's coming out so late, but yeah. Thank you for watching. Be safe. In all honesty, just be safe. And I know I kind of say that just as my closing statement or just my whatever, but I really do just mean just be careful out there. Just depending on where you live, not just for the virus, that's obvious, but for, if any more looting and whatever that's going on, because it's crazy. It is just absolutely nuts. And yeah, I tell people like that all the time, just people who's close to me. Just be careful, you know? Even when I'm at work, I'm like, when I leave my customers, whatever, like, hey, listen, go out, just be careful. So when I do say be careful, be safe, and all that good stuff, I don't just say it just because it's just, you know, it's just a nice closing to my videos. I generally do mean it. So yeah. Bye. I've rambled long enough.